The world's most populated landlocked country, Ethiopia has a population of 102.3 million people, with 80% of the population concentrated in rural areas. Growing at an annual rate of 2.88%, the country is transitioning from stage 2 to 3 of the demographic transition model, as it has low mortality rates and a slowly declining birth rate. According to the CIA World Factbook, Ethiopia has the 5th fastest growing economy among the IMF member countries. However, the average income of the citizen is still less than $2,000 a year. Because of this level of poverty, women are often forced to work at a young age and are subject to sexual abuse, making it increasingly difficult to leave the destructive cycle. Our organization FEED, funding Ethiopian education directly. FEED is a non-profit organization that drives to inspire women in Ethiopia to pursue their educational goals. FEED's vision is that women in Ethiopia are equipped with the same opportunities as men. The 3 objectives are to increase literacy rate, create financial independence for women, and provide sexual education. The first objective is to increase the literacy rate of girls. While men have a literacy rate of 57%, women only have a literacy rate of 41%. The goal is to narrow the gap by building more schools so girls have easier access to education. There are many obstacles that prevent Ethiopian girls from receiving a full education. The first obstacle is the lack of proper facility. Due to schools primarily being in urban areas, and the majority of the population being in rural areas, we plan on building a multitude of smaller schools to help combat any potential issues with transportation. In total, we plan to build 2,000 schools, each have 10 classrooms. Schools will need clean drinking water, access to latrines, and food for the students. To build these schools, with the help of Ethiopia Reads, a non-profit organization that has already established 72 libraries. We hope to have a self-perpetuating system of teachers training teachers. We acknowledge the fact that there is an initial gap in educational professionals, and to combat this we plan to hire both locally and internationally trained teachers. According to UNESCO, only 41% of girls survive to the last grade of primary education. In order to combat that, we plan to use our second objective, which is creating financial independence for women. To begin with, we plan to hire Ethiopian workers to construct the school to increase the amount of money within the local economy. However, we also plan to provide grants for education. Students receive direct cash transfers from regularly attending school. Through cash transfers, we hope to break down social and cultural norms. Not exclusive to women, we plan to give the vast majority of our grants and transfers to them. According to the World Bank, investments in women-owned businesses offer one of the highest return opportunities in emerging markets, and we view these transfers as a continuation of this opportunity. However, since funds are limited, we only plan to use these cash transfers for the first generation of children. We will use a grant and application process for all future generations. The curriculum will involve teaching women and men how to best budget their money and teaching them the basics of running a business. The goal is for both women and men to come out of their education with useful skills. The third objective is sexual education. In rural areas, there is a stigma against contraceptive use, and there is a lack of knowledge about preventing sexual diseases. According to a 2014 Gottmaker study, approximately half of women in rural Ethiopia lost their virginity before the age of 18. However, only 24% of those women used some form of contraceptive. From educating children on a standard curriculum at our education facilities, we plan to hold a clinic a few times a year on safety and protection from STDs. We will focus on STDs and infectious diseases such as HIV and AIDS, and hold a Q&A to address any misconceptions of disease transmission and contraceptive use. As according to the CIA World Factbook, Ethiopia has an HIV and AIDS adult prevalence rate of 1.15% and an infectious disease rate that is considered very high. While our hope is to create a social norm of contraceptive use and safe behavior, we run into the risk of creating problems with the culture of those who believe contraceptive use should not be used. Given our budget of $1 billion, we decided to allocate 50% of it to constructing school facilities and teacher salaries. This includes all the necessary school equipment and classrooms, as well as food, water, and latrines for the school. According to the World Bank, each classroom cost about $20,000 to build. An additional 20% of our budget will go towards the proper materials needed to teach sexual education, such as contraceptives and travel expenses for representatives who go to Ethiopia. The final 30% of our budget will go towards our cash transfer program. While we acknowledge that it is difficult to give out cash to everyone, we believe it is the best way to incentivize education. FEED is committed to making a change in the lives of Ethiopian women, and we have faith that our organization provides the means for this.